Time for Boost, Booze, and Barbecue. I just realized my mic was muted. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Boost, Booze, and Barbecue. And as usual, we have the venerable Coy Masterson. How are you doing?
What?
In studio, we have one of my favorites, not intern Jake, and Chef Kevin joining us. How are we doing, boys?
Not so bad.
I am not too bad.
This has been an interesting weekend. You know that?
Yes, it has.
Happy 4th of July. It's the 5th of July, but happy 4th. Yeah, America.
America.
Did you guys blow anything up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course I blew some stuff up.
Just my toilet.
Well, that goes without saying.
Oh, and one more quick disclaimer. We're going to be drinking. We have 4 people in the studio, so there's probably going to be some F-bombs and some A-bombs and some coochie bomb. I don't know, just whatever.
Some
I
L
apologize in advance.
Allah Akbar.
My filter might not work.
Koi is all access tonight. That's what we're trying to get to. You know what? We had a pretty good time, though, doing our 4th of July. Something happened, though, and quite frankly, I'm blaming producer Nick. My pork belly burnt real bad. Real bad, boys. I was so upset. I could not believe it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get some photos up here real quick. But
Oh, don't do this to me, Andy.
it happened.
Let me this is how bad it was burnt.
I was sad.
I am also known as the human garbage disposal and will
Yes.
eat nearly anything. So I powered through a fair amount of it. Just, it's pork belly. There's a certain respect for it. You eat it no matter what conditions it's in. When I referred to blowing up my toilet, the abrasive quality of charcoal doesn't soften when it comes through you, and my toilet bowl is shiny white. Let's put it that way. I looked in the toilet and was like, well, I have cancer. And then I was like staring, and I was like, why is it so black?
Normally
this is bad. I'm not sure. I think maybe I'm a vampire, and this is the first part of it, I'm
transitioning.
Yeah, I like early signs, and then I kind of was like, oh, yeah, I ate charcoal. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting some photos pulled up. And, it's going to be under Koi's Messenger.
Yeah, because I actually
Close.
picked through it after you did, Coy.
Yeah, no, it's...
And there was nothing left.
Well, I mean, this same thing I started with, charcoal.
Yeah.
It was...
So go ahead and pull these up there, producer Nick.
Oh, that doesn't look so bad.
They don't look like they're in order, by the way. So I'm not sure how that happened. But anyways, you're seeing an image here. If producer Nick's already put it up of...
Those look great. Those look ready to come off the smoker
They do.
Now.
Yep, they do. And there's some ribs with them.
Yeah.
They were gorgeous. Now the final product.
Oh.
Shazam.
Yeah.
What?
Slightly used.
What happened?
So first of all, they were not covered completely. They were supposed to be completely covered to braise.
Yeah.
Instead, they weren't covered, and all of the liquid cooked off. And that, of course, is a recipe for disaster. And then number 2, and you know what? I have to take responsibility for this. I had scooted them over. We have that reverse flow smoker, right? I had scooted it all the way over to the end where the hot air comes out to pass back over the food. So it probably just sat there in this 700-degree blast and just cooked to oblivion.
So that's got to be like at least 4 hours under that kind of condition, right?
Probably, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was a full side. I mean, you're not really getting the full scope of like how big this is. That is a giant barbecue pan, and it was a whole half.
Yeah, so that's
pork
4
belly.
hours.
That's like a full hotel pan. That's
Yeah.
That's 4 hours and $48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it weren't a heritage breed hog.
Now,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm on a good day.
Coy, just try and help me out a little bit here. Percentage-wise, how much of that did you eat?
It wasn't a large percent, but I'm going to go 10%. I think this is actually after I ate it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, you can kind of see where I picked off. There's some clean spots on the bottom.
Sure,
That's where I just went through and I took the biggest piece because I figured they would have, I did the math and I just worked it down to where there was no soft spot in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I had a lot of them.
But that's not actually the only thing that got burnt this weekend. Do you want to show them the next set of photos there? Okay, so producer Nick's car. I think we talked about this a little bit. Producer Nick's car.
Let's get into our alcohol before we talk about what else. Like, all right. I need some drink to just reminisce of this. Like, it was bad. So we got some Rebel Yell here, and I know everybody's like, "Hey, you did Rebel Yell. You did Rebel Yell last
that one's
weekend."
for the ladies.
Our friend of the show, Whiskey Hunter Nick, comped me some single barrel Rebel Yell, 10-year aged.
What a gentleman and a scholar. And you haven't tasted this yet, have you?
I have no idea what this is like. I haven't even smelled it yet.
I smelled it, and it smelled remarkably smooth.
Now, the Rebel Yell that we were all impressed with because it is punching up. Or for its price, it was a darn good whiskey.
Yeah, right now I can find it for about $16-17, and it is ridiculously good at that price. Crazy good. And don't worry, Chef Kevin won't get you some. You'll be able to try it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
So while you guys are going with some tasting notes here, I'm going to start talking about the project we had this weekend.
Well, hold on a second. So this is 50% alcohol, by the way. It's 100 proof. Oh, it's a 10-year single barrel. Wow. I wonder how much this bottle costs.
I believe it's around $58 in there. It's more expensive.
But, dude, that's so cheap for a 10-year age single barrel bourbon whiskey. That's a great price. And it's even got the barrel number and the date of the aging. That's really impressive.
Cool. You said that they only made so many and they released them all at once?
What he told me, they do it every year and it's a limited release, but they just drop them all at the same time. So it's super easy to find for about 1 month and then they're gone.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if I might have saw that one when I picked up the original Rebel Yell.
It's definitely possible. The way I understood it, I haven't done any of this research on it, but I believe it just dropped a week or two ago.
This is good. This is real good.
This is really good.
Beautifully smooth for how hot it is for 50%. It does not taste like 50%. I know there's a little bit of water in here and some ice, but still, like, this is incredible.
Yeah, nice. This is really good. I'm very impressed.
The char is really coming through on this. It's real smoky.
Mm.
It's got a nice
It tastes like a smoked vanilla, though.
Yeah.
There's definitely some citrus there on the tail end too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, you know what's funny is I was just sitting here thinking to myself, it's got kind of like a plum thing going on for me.
Really, I'm getting the smoke and the vanilla and definitely
like orange or tangerine, like or even maybe like grapefruit, like rind though, not fruit, just the rind, like that little bit of bitterness in there too.
Yep,
right.
Tasty.
That's really good.
Yeah, you all have much more refined palates than I do. That tastes like liquor.
That tastes like brown liquor.
It tastes warm.
That tastes like a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Kevin, would you help fix the microphone there? Yeah, there we go. Got to get there in front of your face. There we go, Jake.
Just pretend that it's an object that's coming right at you. You know what I mean?
Well, does it look like I've seen one up close?
It's a Friday.
Pretend it was paying you about $20.
It's a black phallus on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that wasn't last Friday night.
It could have been. I'm not gonna judge.
Don't judge.
Well, speaking of getting your shit pushed in, you were going to talk about what we did this weekend.
Producer Nick is he's quietly over in the corner, but his car is nearly back on the road.
He's trying not to make eye contact.
It's nearly back on the road. And I will say his clutch went out, and we all heard the story about towing it back in last weekend with your 3-foot tow strap.
Okay, while I have a yellow 20-foot tow strap in the back of my car.
In the back of the truck I saw was
a 3-foot tow strap?
No, I mean, it started out as 12. I just doubled it up, so it was about 3 foot.
Okay.
Well, he doubled it and then doubled it again.
And what was it made out of?
Wasn't
it Harbor Freight?
Hopes and Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he used, if that clutch was a Buffalo, like every part of it was used. Like, he treated his clutch how the American Indian treated buffaloes. Yeah. Like nothing went to waste.
Oh yeah, let's see that friction disc. Where's she at?
Yeah, well, no, you're looking at it. That paper thin thingy right there.
That's what's left.
Those little fiberglass hairs sticking out there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And actually, on this side, there's a little bit of friction material left on it. On the other side, there was none.
You could see some shadow with that rivet.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
It looked like the devil's cotton candy inside that transmission.
It was gross. It was gross. I couldn't find the throwout bearing because I was like looking around like, where's the throwout bearing? Because this black stuff had just coated it, and I thought it was just part of the cast material. And I'm like, who pulled the throwout bearing? It should be right here. Yeah, it was bad, but he got his money's worth out of that clutch.
Oh yeah,
that is a fact.
Every mile. That is solid work.
And, with the four of us getting all in there, Andy and Nick had already pulled one axle and kind of had some of the work done. We jumped in there in 2.5 hours? We had the transmission dropped, clutch put in, and everything put back in. So,
and we did do a new flywheel. Yeah. You can't really see it from here. I wish I could get a better photo of it, but the absolute dark rainbow colors in that pressure plate were amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looked like a nice fresh rain on an oil slick.
Yeah, it had been overheated.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about
very badly.
Let's talk about my favorite part.
The smell?
The smell.
Well, how'd you like the smell on those flywheel bolts that I took out?
My nose had luckily my nose had already been assaulted so violently that it wasn't so bad. Like my nose was already wallered out pretty good.
It was like the first initial rape of your nose senses, and then you're like, okay, I can brace.
My body
this.
had already kind of started protecting itself and numbing up, and my mind was turning into itself.
Yep.
I went into my happy place. I was gone from reality. It was so horrible.
Yeah, it really. I just refer to it every time I smell burnt clutch and stuff like that. It smells like burnt dead old people.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
It's savage.
I haven't burned an old person in God, I don't know how long. It's hard for me to imagine exactly and put that together. But I know what you're saying.
It's flashbacks and Nam and stuff. That's what I get, and it's just like
choppers and yeah.
Well, so how often are you lighting old people on fire?
Well, it was a long time ago. That's what I'm saying. It was a long time ago. So when I smell that smell, it was.
Well, it was a long time ago till the protests.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, and then
now things have changed.
I slipped back into some old habits for a minute.
Yeah,
that's why we used to call Jake COVID-9.
COVID-9.
Yeah, at the rate he's killing old people, it makes sense.
Every time I go for one, we just kick it up a number.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
How many COVID-19 jokes are there right now? Like, how many good ones have you heard? Those one-liners.
Honestly, I haven't heard any one-liners. Have you?
Well, I actually.
I mean, I've heard some pretty good. names.
Spun one.
I say it kind of sounds like you want to try one out.
Well, I spun one a couple weeks ago that was nice, but I've heard a few here and there. But I said there was less of those than there was grandparents in Wuhan.
Ooh, savage. That was good,
but it's sweet. And it's usable.
Yeah,
Yeah. And everybody's like, huh? Oh my God! You just went there.
It's so good that it takes a second, and then the savory on the tongue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. I agree.
I had a few of those 4th of July where only one person would actually hear me say it because there were just so many people talking, and then I could always tell who heard me say it because they laughed, and then everybody else was just sort of like, ugh.
And I want to just get this out to the public because I've been making this outreach. At first everybody's like coronavirus. Then we got haughty and we're like, it's COVID-19, wear your mask. And then
legitimate.
Then people went full send and we're like, Rona! At this point, I'm going COVID-19er.
COVID-19er.
Clearance for takeoff. I want to go full official military slang on this, like COVID-19er, breaker radio check.
Roger, Bravo 22. Repeat, over.
Zulu, Foxtrot, COVID-19er. So everybody call it COVID-19er from now on, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can we just start working on a song maybe?
Eastbound down.
Loaded up with COVID.
I was thinking more like Rona, Rona.
That's good.
Someone that watches or listens to this, make sure that you go ahead and put that together for us, and then tag us and give us credit because it was our intellectual property. Thank you very much.
Anyways, back to the clutch change. We're still talking about that?
It was very good to have you guys here. I appreciated you coming and helping us out. No problem. And I think it went pretty smoothly. That is such an easy car to work on.
It really is.
It is, especially with a couple guys, because you can kind of manhandle the whole car.
Well, I mean, and it's not like we're small guys, I mean, literally you can bench that transmission like one-handed. It was no problem.
Yeah, I slid the transmission over while somebody held it from above, and then they let it down to me, and then I slide it out from under that. Everything's small, and that's nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there was actually fairly decent amount of room, but that's because it was such a simple car.
Yeah.
And actually, Jake, you are quite the accomplished mechanic. I mean, you've worked for several mechanic shops, and so
Get ahead of yourself now.
it was really good to have you down here. Although I have to say, you have reached out to me a few times and been like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with your intern?"
Oh yeah. He's seriously giving Jake's a bad name.
I remember you said that.
Yeah, I wish I could run into him again because I'd like to say my piece.
Yeah. No,
Like
there have been
some words.
Well, there have been a few people who have actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, I found one Jake on your Facebook profile. Is that Jake the intern?" And I had to be like, "Whoa,
No, it's not.
First of all, I would never friend our intern. Not that that's like a boss. Not that that's like a power relationship that I wouldn't cross. But he's just so bad, I wouldn't friend him.
Right? No, I'm glad I didn't friend him. Lord only knows what we would see on there.
Is it still pending in yours?
No, I haven't friended him.
I just delete
straight deny.
Immediately. Yeah.
I have to admit, I had a morbid curiosity because of all the shit he's put us through. But at the same time, I just wanted to let it go. So I had some news for you, Coy.
Go ahead, yeah.
We are going to be getting another intern.
Nice.
I heard that we have been selected, and it's something that we have the opportunity to do through the college here. And I think we would like to start that process. We're going to vet a little bit more, if you know.
We've been trying for a while, but with the COVID-19 stuff going on, we didn't know if they're going to be doing the internship again. So good.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to mask. Well, we're not going to mask up, but we'll have them mask up.
Yeah, we don't know where interns have been.
Right.
That's just filth.
So I got the list, and obviously it's just names and skill levels, sort of like resumes. I asked producer Nick to look through them, and he literally just he had the list, and he looked at them, and he looked at me, and he said, "Just give me the hot one."
Producer Nick, you're a savage.
I don't think there were any women in the list either. So
Say what's his name?
Potato.
Yeah.
Padillo,
Well, it is a problem because we were kind of going through them. There's like a Kelly, and we're like, I don't know.
Is it an R. Kelly?
Well, I don't know.
No.
You don't know. They don't list that. It was like a Kelly and a Pat. Like there was a couple.
The Pat was a bad one because they have a bunch of civil activist type stuff on there, so that obscures it even more.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking gamble, guys.
Oh, Renee was another one.
Yeah.
Coy's really sure that that's a woman, but I'm on the fence.
French.
I needed
thinking so.
Be a Frenchman.
Well, I needed to list ethnicity, and then I'll go from there. But of course, it doesn't. So
What about Kivo? That was a weird one for me.
yeah, I don't know. It just makes me think of TiVo.
Right.
I thought that he was saying
Yeah.
TiVo. I was like, really?
Right. No, Kivo. It was like Kievo.
Sounds like a knockoff version of some Chinese Kia.
I bet they're really good at math. That's all I'm saying.
His name is actually some form of equation written.
It probably is. Yeah.
It would make sense.
There's some relation to Elon Musk, probably.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
love to have that intern for 10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes.
Save that drop.
Here.
Okay.
That's what I'll do for you. Yeah, so we're going to get another intern one of these days. Everybody that's been missing intern Jake, keep missing him because we're not doing that again.
Kevin, did you want some more?
I mean, my glass.
I'll let you. Yeah, I see it's empty. I'll let you.
mysteriously emptied
We're all
itself.
men here. You can pour your own.
Oh, man, and there's another cheers we need to do because, Kevin, you have some really good news.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Kevin, his S13 notchback, slammed body kit, blacktop SR20 swapped.
Piece of shit.
No, I liked that car. I had no problem with that car.
Drift missile.
Yeah, it was a drift missile. But cheers because you got it sold today.
She gone.
Congrats.
Good job, man.
You know, say what you want about Trump. Somebody cashed in their Trump bucks. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like when you buy a missile.
I'm
It's
not
the
going to lie. I sold my drift missile to a Russian named Andre.
Well, he probably definitely had Trump bucks, whether
yeah.
it was through the kickback or Putin. You know, either
Yeah.
way.
He's probably working the unemployment section, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dealing
I
with
wish
cars.
I was. Really, the only people that COVID's really messing up
Are the workers?
is the essential employees.
yeah, the essential workers, yeah. Oh, no.
You give to me, how you say, unemployment check.
every week for a month, and we're clear.
I need extra 1,000.
I'm guessing this guy had Putin money, if anything, because he came rolling up in a Challenger RT, and it was nice.
It was Moss.
Okay, all right. Remind me, did you have a clean title on that S13?
Somehow.
Wow.
Really?
You know,
I just don't think anybody ever filed an insurance claim.
I was going to say that's where it's like
how it goes.
how that worked out.
That's where it's like, do you have any STDs? It's like, all my tests are good. And it's like, I've never taken a test.
I passed them all.
Yeah, no.
It's not all my tests are good. It's I've never failed a test.
Yeah, I've never failed a test. And it's like, well, how many have you taken? 0. Okay, well,
There you go.
that's a lot of unknowns.
Well, listen, it's not like this thing was an STD. I mean, you probably
could have
could
been.
get one from it.
Yeah.
You absolutely could get one from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I had just been letting it sit for a while too. Like I hadn't been driving it. It was uninsured. And like I really probably should have taken some more time to prep the car for sale before this guy showed up because the battery was dead. The old battery that I swapped out was in the back seat on its side, leaked acid all over the seats.
That's
Like
nice.
it's totally trashed. And the guy's like, yeah, you lower price, and I'd already listed the car like at a higher price than I wanted, so I lowered it to my
What you wanted.
expected value or
500 over what you'd bought it for. Yeah, nice.
So he's like, you think this lowest price?
Oh man, and he brought his wife with him too, who spoke 0 English. I respect the guy. He spoke a lot of English for only being in the country for I think he said like 11 months.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty legit. But yeah, his wife she was not happy about like because
no.
He's
Like,
like,
we can't put babies in this.
Yeah, he's like, you start it now. And I was like, okay. Oh, yeah, no, it won't start. And instantly, like, you could already see when she showed up, she was not happy. She's like, really, this is what we drove. Oh, they drove from Seattle, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So,
that's a
drive it
long
home or
drive.
trailer it?
Oh, he's trailering it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, he's coming back tomorrow with a buddy in a big trailer.
Nice.
Dude, I guarantee, like, you weren't able to hear it, but if you had been able to be a fly on the side of that woman's head, when he shook your hand, she was just like, "Sukabliat."
Yes,
Guarantee it.
I'm sure.
I wouldn't have minded having your car. I have to admit, when you first said you're going to sell it, I was sitting here thinking, well, I could count my pennies. Like, I might be able to come up with 2,000. When you told me what you needed for it, I was like, I can't do that. But that was a neat little car. I liked that. It had one of the original Power FCs in it, too. The Commander
with the
controller, or whatever it was called.
The screen was blacked out on the Commander controller. But apparently, like, there's a couple of things you can do to fix them or whatever. I tried a couple, like, of the easier methods, like unplugging it and plugging it back in while the
Have you tried turning it on and off again? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To no avail. So, I just told him it's as is.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah.
you
As is.
replacing it with a another bucket, or are we gonna just?
I have my bucket.
an adult.
I've got my daily little Tercel, which is fantastic and is going to be great until it dies. In 2070, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But no,
When the Rock's president. Yeah.
I'm looking at something with some more seating capacity now.
Yeah.
Oh, you've chosen that path.
I have.
Okay. All right.
have. Which is fine. I'll have another project sometime down the line, maybe.
All right. It's turbo minivan time.
Yep.
I really want to find a supercharged Previa so
Yes.
bad. An all-wheel drive supercharged Previa.
Yeah, you and every other super fanboy that
Yeah.
crapped out a baby.
Dude.
I want to chop the back
I got
of
a
it.
fucking baby now.
Well, I mean, it's better.
Hang
That's
on, I
better
gotta
than a
move this way.
Subaru swapped Volkswagen, right?
Whoa. Okay, sorry.
Here's what I'm saying, dude. Get yourself like an Odyssey before they had sliding doors, when they were like a 4-door minivan.
Sure.
And then age 22 swap that with a manual. And then you can supercharge that motor if you'd like, but then it's going to be baller. You can drop it. They make some crappy like caseboard coilovers for it.
Oh, and bro, leave the factory tack in it too. So when people look over at you just like grabbing gears and they're like, what the fuck is this dude doing? And they just watch that 6,500 RPM red line, you bury
Just
it.
bury the needle.
Just watch that needle charge into the red.
Yeah,
You watch
it goes,
that needle
runs past the 8 that you were never supposed to hit.
Wait. You watch the needle go through the red like COVID at a nursing home. Just plow through.
Oh,
Boy,
I'll
what the
drink
hell
to
is
that
wrong
one.
with you?
That was a good one.
Jeepers creepers,
Yeah, dude,
man.
nothing is off limits, apparently. That's fantastic.
We said explicit.
Explicit content.
I didn't even cuss. Like,
Yeah.
I just
You
talked
didn't
about
have to.
things. I didn't have to.
So, by the way, speaking of those first-gen Honda Odysseys, you know you can get a K-swap kit for those, right?
I do now.
A K-swap kit?
Yes.
That I did not know.
Yes, and those were available in all-wheel drive in Japan. And so there have been a few people who have done all-wheel drive K-swapped first-gen Odysseys.
If I remember right, I could have sworn I read like an import tuner article a long time ago, obviously, that where they actually did a lot of work to an Odyssey and they were running time attack with it.
Yeah, there's videos of like people putting F1 cars or F1 engines in Renault minivans, and
Sure.
there's some. I think it was a Sienna or something like that that's got a McDonnell Douglas turbine engine in it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, but you're not describing a K-swapped Honda. I mean, this is like an all-day, everyday thing. You can hook that up in a weekend.
I'm just saying, just imagine a K-swapped Honda Odyssey, manual trans, 6-speed.
Of course.
You're rowing through the gears. And then if you got the all-wheel drive swap, as a daily, that would be awesome. Imagine if you were able to bribe some chump car officials and get that through without a lap penalty. And knock some dents in this thing. Like, it's going to look rough, and people are like, ooh, a beat-up Honda minivan. And then just start rowing past competitors.
Just slamming
and they're like,
gears in the straights.
It's raining now. That heavy minivan won't be able to pass us on. You're like, all-wheel drive, engage. And you're
it's
just
got slight
destroyed.
understeer in the gears.
Well,
That's
it's
about it.
understeering a little bit and then launching out of the corner.
He's got a good point. What about the second-gen Odysseys that were actually like fast because they had the J35 in them or whatever? You know, the dual overhead cam 3.5 liter V6.
Yeah, the V6.
Those were actually quick. They had like 260 horsepower or something like that.
That's the same motor out of like the Accord S or whatever.
Yeah, the two-door Accords.
Yeah.
That by far and away has been the strangest thing about vehicles in our lifetimes is as young car enthusiasts, when I was young, when I was 18, 19, like if you were running 14s, you had a fast-ass car. That was a fast car, running 14s.
Yeah.
I remember a buddy of ours wanted to get one of the hot little Cavaliers because Chevy was like, this thing will run a 15 too from the factory. And then the SRT4 came out, and it was faster than even a lot of the muscle cars at the time. I use the term loosely, muscle cars, the LT1 Camaros and stuff.
Yeah.
Although now when I look back on it, if I had an LT1 Camaro with a nitro kit, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have been a 13-second car. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is we went from that to like 7 years later, the Toyota Camry V6 has 270 horsepower and is running 14s. Like, it's ridiculous.
Dropping the kids off, waking up late, showing up early.
I literally did this to someone. We sat down and we looked up a 1967 Camaro. Now, granted, it was an RS, so it was a 350, but it was, a Camaro, a classic Camaro. Yeah, 14.2. And then we looked up the Honda Accord, the brand new Honda Accord. It's been a few years back, and it was like a 13.8.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Turns out my Honda can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you looking up, Coy? Oh, just
Sharing us out here. Getting those likes and views, bro.
Here's the point.
Doing it for the likes.
I'm starting to get excited about what kind of engine swaps we're going to be doing here in the next 10 years, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, perfect example. Like I was talking to you earlier today, like when your Ford with the 3.5 comes out, twin turbo, and they did all the torture tests with it, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, if that's true to what they're saying, that could really redefine the whole thing. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I wonder if I could just buy a crate motor of that. What can I do to make that into a 5-speed or a 6-speed? Make it standalone, throw it in whatever I want.
See, that's where I see the problem with these future swaps of all these new motors is getting a manual transmission behind it or under it.
Yeah.
When you start getting 2-3 ECUs and they're all talking to each other, the transmissions, the engines, they all have to communicate. Things start getting weird.
Which, I mean, honestly, we're going to be at the mercy of the shops, basically, for a swap kit, or you're going to have to be good enough.
You're going to be
to
good
design your own bell housing or something which is a lot of work that most tuners aren't capable of retrofitting a bell housing or having it custom made.
Well, you were telling me a really interesting one because I know you've been looking at the 3rd gen MR2s a lot. The MR2 Spiders, right?
Ugh, why?
Oh, my friend. Oh, my friend.
It has been decided.
You have just shown your ignorance.
No.
Round 1.
Okay.
Fight.
I'll give it to you that they're not the most beautiful car.
You can rephrase that and say that they are the ugliest thing that Toyota has ever made.
Nicholas, I'm going to need you to Google JCGT 300 MRS.
Okay, so yeah, it's got a hard top, and it's not even so. You can even an MR2.
You can hard top any of them.
It's a tube frame car at this point.
No,
yeah?
no, it's not.
No.
The front suspension is completely reworked, which gives you the ability to get those huge swelled fenders, which all the cars in that class are. So I will give you that much.
Let me just stop you right here. I'm familiar with what car you're pulling up. I know the JGTC MR2s. Like that was one of my favorite cars to drive in
Beautiful car,
Gran Turismo. Beautiful car, but that's not what you have.
It's not exactly, but what's wrong with that right there?
Ugh, God, everything.
Okay, that's not the most perfect. Perfect choice.
Do a different one for us, Nick.
When did that car with that hard top come out?
That looks like a half retarded
2001.
Lotus Elise is what it is.
By now, I'm sure you can get that hard top for pennies on the dollar.
God, why are you doing
no,
this
the
to
hard
me?
tops aren't actually have held their value because they
That is
Really?
a wide MR2.
Yeah, it really is.
go reckless MR2. Anyways, here's the deal: these cars weigh 2,000 pounds from the factory.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, that cannot be argued.
There it is.
Yeah,
Look at that. That's
a
pretty
good looking
beefy.
car.
that is a factory car. You can buy that kit. That's how it would look on your car.
Yeah, because all of the fenders, front and rear, bolt on.
That's the other thing is front and rear fenders on these, like front fenders on all cars, simply unbolt. So you can simply bolt on a white body kit. You can have this car white body in a matter of minutes. Obviously, the handling on these is good. You can't argue with that. We can't argue with the physics of the weight.
It's good until it's not.
That's any MR2 though.
Yeah,
That's any mid-engine car.
Mid-engine short wheel.
I drove an S2000. Like, I am into cars that try to kill you when you get to the end. There's like,
As long
oh
as you
my
know what
God,
you're
this
getting
car is
into.
amazing. No, down, boy, down. Stop it. You start slapping it.
Punch
Stuff.
it in the back of the head.
Yeah,
Stop.
no, I am into cars that turn on their owners.
I mean, I had a Gen 1 MR2, which is basically, I feel like the same car.
You
just
actively tried to kill yourself.
like
that is actually
half the power.
that is like a
right?
medium suicide.
As soon as you went into it,
Are you okay, bro? I didn't know this about you. Are you all right now? You're better?
Yeah.
You got some help?
Well, obviously.
That's like an over easy suicide.
Yeah. That's like an attention thing.
That was the only thing that I liked about that car, because otherwise, like,
They could have killed you.
The handling was good, but the power was terrible. Like, it was an old ass car. It wasn't particularly fun to drive for anything or any fact other than it was trying to kill you. That was fun.
All right.
That was exciting.
Now we're going to get into more
call
of
it
why I
the
like
Clinton.
these. Number one, they're not well supported by aftermarket.
Perfect.
Which sounds bad, but that gives you room to have something different. All right.
True.
You've had a 240. Even though yours was a missile, everybody has a missile. You know what I mean?
everybody and their
And you
brother
could have
has
made that into its finest example, and someone would have had the same thing, more or less.
Sure.
So you can. Kevin.
That's pretty dope.
Kevin.
That's really nice. I like that.
Yeah, I like
good
that.
mix
What's going
of
on here, man?
Square and round. I like
Look at this wide body. All right. Just look at it. Would you look at that?
Would you just look at it?
Would you just look at it?
Look at that. Just look at it.
So clearly you can do some stuff with it. I can see the wheels turning in your head. You don't want to admit it, but that is
okay, tell me, is that a radiator or a front mount intercooler?
No, that's just a duct to get air up where it needs to be.
Yeah, probably for the
so
hood.
there won't be
I'm talking in the
there will not be a
Yeah,
front.
the very front. Yeah,
That is
that's
not a
an air
front
down.
mount.
That's not a front mount.
That is not a front mount intercooler. You'll drop that out the back for sure. Now let's talk motors. We already know that the physics, these cars have physics as an advantage. They weigh less.
Chassis solid. I'm not going to
Solid
argue.
chassis.
It's just ugly as.
And I feel like I've kind of proven
Here,
you
go with
that they
black
can
one
look
up
good.
there.
I admit that it's
Yep.
I don't know if good is maybe not terrible.
You're treating this thing like it's a Pontiac Aztec. I mean, come on. It has some very good redeeming
now that
value.
is
that's
really
a-
hard to. That is the actual reckless. That is the reckless race car.
Actually, that looks like a render, but I still think that would be doable.
That might be a render, but that car is the trial reckless race car.
I'm gonna come out and say it. That car looks fast.
Yeah.
It does not look good.
Look,
There's a difference between
we'll agree
fast
to
and
disagree.
fast.
It's not my fault if you're fucking stupid. Okay? I cannot convince you not to be dumb.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay.
That you've hurt my feelings now, honestly, with that. That doesn't look good. I'm sorry, you don't like rivets. I don't know what is it that doesn't look good.
I hate
Doesn't
speed.
that not look like a stealth
That's like
bomber?
he looked at a P-51 Mustang and was like, meh.
Meh.
Now that
That's not my
airplane's
thing.
probably a good one to fight other planes in, but it's ugly.
Give me that zero, baby.
Look at that pinup girl.
Oh my god.
But Kevin, do you look at Koenigsegg's and go, yeah, but can it slide?
So let's
How much are the oil changes on those things?
let's talk about motors in these
Yeah,
cars.
let's talk
Okay, yeah.
motors.
So what are they running?
So the go-to swap is the 2ZZGE.
Sure.
Celica GTS motor.
Right.
That's what the MRS ran. They're an easy swap. They're a direct swap. You basically can get you get the ECU, you get an adapter to plug that ECU in, you change the dipstick.
Right.
Because it needs to be a different one to
Sure.
reach it. Easy swap. Then there are some guys that do the 3GT SE or whatever.
3SGT out of the Mark II.
Which is fine. I mean, I kind of disagree with that swap. But then there are a few guys, and this is a rougher swap. You get the second gen transmission for a 3G swap, and then you get the swap kit to put the Camry V6 into a second gen,
Oh, yeah.
and then you put it to that transmission, and then you take a bunch of shoehorns and you slowly drop that Camry V6 in the back of one of
That
those.
is a Frankenstein. Oh my.
And then you have a Camry reliability in a 2,000-pound car pushing 300 horsepower.
Okay.
And that's without the supercharger.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
unmodified. That's no cams. That is stock Camry reliability.
Because they do make a TRD supercharger for that. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Fairly
The
confident.
TRD supercharger is really hard to come by, actually.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Because they didn't make that in America. They made it. Oh, what was that car? It was
Nick,
Australian only.
Would you look up supercharged
Aurora?
Toyota
Aurora?
Solara? And yes, Toyota had a car called the Solara, which is
Yeah,
ironic.
Solera. It was almost exclusively convertible, was it not?
Yeah, it was.
I remember those.
I love a car that's named after, aging something in a barrel.
I'm trying to
that you're gonna
remember
drink.
what that V6 is. They swapped those. It's the
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not.
Some of them were. Yeah, so that's the Solara, which I know that doesn't look like anything special, but man, those things were quick. And I mean, when you had the TRD supercharger on them, here back out of that, Nick. I want to see, because I think they had a photo of the supercharger kit up there. Yeah, very first photo, all the way at the end. Yep. Oh, it's tiny. Sorry about that. So it's going to be a little grainy, folks that are watching. My apologies.
This is a hard pull for me. Look up Toyota TRD. I want to say Aurora, something like that. It was an Australian only.
Toyota Aurora.
Yeah, the Evora, I think that's a Lotus. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Camry Aurora Koi?
basically just a better looking MR2.
What V6
Yeah.
is that? What V6 came in those Camrys? What's
It's not the 1UZFE or
No, that's the V8.
That's the V8,
yeah.
right.
I should know this. I don't even know why I would know this. It's definitely an FE.
Is that the same one that came in the T100?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Because what year did they stop doing the T100?
I don't know actually.
Yeah, they stopped doing the T100 pretty early on and
It came in
replaced with the Tundra.
It came in another Lexus though, right?
Yeah,
like
it did.
was the one of the big sedans or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, it was the V6 that they used for all their shit.
They came
Like
in
it was an amazing
It
motor.
was like an ES, the ES 300 or something like that.
Oh, ES 350, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And it was front wheel drive. Man, I have no proof of this at all. I just remember I'm talking like 15 years ago, a buddy of mine, his dad had that car and we were over at his house. I was young. I was driving, but it's not like I was driving anything real fast at the time. I must have been 16, 17 years old. And his dad had one of those. And I said something about, oh, yeah, I think these things are pretty quick, aren't they? And he was like, oh, yeah, they're quick. And we were on their farm, right? So the first thing he does is he does a quick little, like, burnout, but it's not really a burnout. Like he rolls forward and it leaves 2 stripes. One of the stripes is through a puddle, so clearly it had some kind of, a traction control or something like that.
Sure.
And then he backs up and he goes, whoops, forgot to turn off the traction control. He does the fattest front-wheel drive burnout I've ever seen a Toyota Camry do.
Really?
It was amazing. I was just like instant boner. It was glorious, and I was just like,
Billowing from the front tires.
it might actually be what got me into sleepers in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know something like that could do that, but just watching this beige Toyota Camry just roll fucking smoke off of the front end, and it was completely stock.
All right, Nicholas, I'm jumping in. Toyota Auroron TRD, AURION. This is the premier Camry V6 motor to get.
Orion, wow, okay.
It was Australian only, but factory TRD.
That's a pretty good looking rig, actually. It's pretty tough.
Did you put TRD on that?
Better looking than that MR2.
Man, are you high?
Do I come into his kitchen and be like, wow, that flan fillet looks like crap, 2GREFE. Sorry, I can't believe I didn't know that. Anyways, this car is factory at 323 horsepower.
Damn.
Jesus.
All front wheel?
All front wheel drive Fury.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious.
So imagine
that boy has some torque
you
steer?
can't. It's near impossible to get the TRD supercharger. I've tried.
Would you look?
There's
up the
aftermarket
spec,
ones.
Put like 0 to 60
And
in there
that's
after the name of this.
We're talking like 6 to 8 psi.
No,
this is
keep the
low
TRD.
boost.
Yeah, sure.
So with that engine, let's say it's 2,200 pounds with a V6. Could weigh less than that. With 323 horsepower of Camry reliability. And it has torque since it's a V6. You have a usable RPM
a lot
range.
of torque. I just
That
want
would
to
be
see
a beast car.
Is
and
this something that's
someday-
been done, or is this in the
back out of
dream of Coy?
The V6 has been done. I don't know anybody who's supercharged a V6 in there because no one really needs to. There's
back out of that.
a guy in South Africa that has a beast hill climb one that's just completely custom.
Really?
But I mean, he has one of those V6s, but it's like 800 horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's not Toyota anymore.
That
still
doesn't
Toyota.
quite look right. 0 to 67 seconds.
That's a touring, not a
maybe.
TRD.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 90 horsepower. Uh-huh.
Yeah, what the hell, producer Nick? Wait, what?
So the Auroron TRD had 323 horsepower
Maybe
and
put in
290
quarter
foot-pounds
mile
of torque
instead.
to the front tires.
Wikipedia says
That's to
it's
the
also
wheels. That's
called
not
the
brake
Camry.
horsepower. That's wheel horsepower.
Yeah, Eaton TVS supercharger developed by TRD and a motor source company called Harrop Engineering.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I have the numbers. The TRD Auroron sprints a claimed 6.1 seconds, and the standing quarter pass is 14.2
Video.
Wow.
in that big
14.2?
car.
4-door full.
Good Lord
So
Almighty.
the 0 to 100 kilometers, since it's Australian, was 6.1 with a quarter mile, standing quarter at 14.2.
We got a video of a
It
guy
only
doing some
came with a
racing on a
6-speed
drag strip.
auto.
Thing looked like it was gonna
So
launch.
check this out.
Jeez, did you see that?
Do we have sound, Nick?
Yes, big old squat.
I can't, what is he going to race here?
I don't
Looks
know.
like a Bravada.
It's probably a whole. I think it's a Holden Commodore. Yeah, that's not very impressive compared to that huge Holden Commodore.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's got one of those Barra 4 liters. Speaking of the Barra 4 liter, you
He
guys.
still ran a 13.7 though.
Holy crap, a 13.7?
Damn.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty wild at 102.
That's not a small car. That's a big car too. I don't know what it weighed, but I mean, it's basically a Camry.
Yeah, it says it's basically a Camry.
Okay, now, Nick, I want you to put in Ford Barra. And go ahead and, it's BARRA. And then put in boost loading. One of my favorite videos is this dude that has got a, and it's going to be hard to find. Oh, go ahead and do the 40 PSI Ford Barra. It literally,
Whoa.
It's one of my favorite videos ever. It's this.
Oh my god!
All the boosts.
That's fucking aggressive.
It's this dude that has a first-gen Barra with the biggest turbo I've ever seen. And so he's rolling along on this racetrack, and there's this camera car next to him, and he's brake boosting, right? And it says boost loading, and he's literally, and then he just, and the back tires start spinning, and he just does this fat rolling burnout all the way down the front straight. All right, yeah, let's see what we got going on here, boss. Oh, lordy, look at that.
That is so good.
Australian Ford Barra Turbo 6.
I have a good voice because everyone doesn't catch me. And you should listen to me because I'm smarter than Americans.
All right, scoop ahead a little bit there. Let's see if they can give us some good stuff. Ooh, fat burnout there. Anybody who is listening on audio only, I encourage you to go out and look up 40 plus PSI boost Ford Barra. I'm going to turn the volume down on this so we can talk over it. Those are some serious rods that they put in it, by the way. I hear these things are pretty strong from the factory.
Yeah.
Here's a full run.
You see his battery box on
I'm sorry. Do we see the
1110?
station? Is this a rear-wheel drive car?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay,
But it's never looked more. A rear-wheel drive has never looked more front-wheel drive than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that is serious. 1,237 horsepower.
Oh, is that? I mean, that's okay, I guess, for a Ford.
That's not bad for a daily. It's just pull after pull.
You know, when you're pulling the front end up
Almost
like that on
1,300
a
horsepower.
Mustang dyno.
Yeah.
No, this is a Dynapack dyno.
Or, sorry, yes.
That is serious. Listen to that thing.
Yeah, that's some serious.
1303.
Jesus Christ.
My goodness.
The guy tuning it has earmuffs on.
Yeah, that's Supra next to it. It's like,
Yeah.
Finally a 2J eater.
It's what Supra's nightmares are made of.
Yep.
You know?
seriously.
Hey, look, this Ford Taurus washed up. Oh my God! What is happening?
Just dry dick me with no lube. Oh, God.
Since it's an Australian car, it's probably sitting there saying, I'll fuck you right in your fuck hole. 1,347 horsepower.
Nick, I shot Andy's Messenger a video when we're done with this one.
So this
Pop
is
it up.
a 9 with a stock engine, yeah?
Shrimp on the bobbies.
I think we'll find that.
A 9.6 on the factory motor, you guys.
Look at that koala.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really piss him
So
off
it's,
if I stuck my thumb up
Philip
his bum.
Crank, you were saying?
And here we see the wild Ford Barra
Turbo, was it?
strapped to a Dynapack dyno. Let's go and put our hand in it while it's spinning.
Let's take a closer look at it.
Dan here from Springy's tuned it.
This is very dangerous from where I am right now.
So you're in the
But this is the aggressive mating call of the Barra.
that's well done.
The thing that
Oh, crikey, he's angry. He's angry.
Just went full dubstep. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
wow, that's
some-
crazy.
Yeah, that's absolute insanity.
Nick's got a,
1,350 horsepower,
That
44
turbo
pounds
was
of
the
boost.
size of a freaking basketball.
Nick's got a video he's popping up that's my MR2 Spider inspiration.
Oh,
now this
wow.
is a full race build, but from a normal guy, not a factory team.
Right.
And this is a supercharged V6.
Wide body, big wing. I like the color scheme, actually. It's kind of that darker maroon with the white.
He's got a hard top, and I mean he's
You
full.
have just already sold. You're like, no, I don't give a damn.
Full disclosure, I mean it's full race car. The radiator is in like the back seat type situation.
If
I mean,
you're on
it's fully
audio,
ducted.
if you're on audio, you can't see the contempt in Chef Kevin's face. His arms are crossed. He's licking
looks
his,
like Chef Ramsay
licking his
is.
teeth like.
Okay, this is pushing 700 horsepower though. Just throwing that out there.
All right, let's hit it and get it.
In less than 2,000 pounds now, probably.
Yeah, this is probably less than a ton.
I mean, if
Does
it's
this
full,
have
if it's
sound?
full race, they're like no glass, all XN, and all that stuff. Like,
So just think, this is probably
Yeah, back
less
it on
than,
up there,
weighs
kid.
less than a ton.
Yeah. All right, what do we got? Pause it. Listen to that thing.
Yeah.
Are you guys hearing that?
Oh, yeah.
Back that up, Nick. Play that again.
This is happening whether you like it or not, so you might as well.
I'm not saying this is an easy road to go, but if you can stay with it, you would have one hell of a unique build that is fast.
Look at the way
AF.
it just handles.
Bro, that thing
That is a hill
on
climb.
fire.
Yeah, this is a hill climb in South Africa, so there's no safety.
Holy
So
crap.
think how you would drive if you had to go to a South African hospital. You know, this is not 100%. He realizes he will get gangrene if he crashes.
you got spectators ready to pull
and
parts off.
everything. Like,
This is a real. I mean, this is a normal guy that owns this. This is not a race
a
team.
normal guy that has so much money.
A little know-how.
He has. I mean,
here's
look, I mean,
the
it has a factory
in-car.
dash. You know, I mean, it's not.
It's got a factory dash.
Seeing it from the inside does give me a little bit more.
I mean, it's gutted. It's a
that's-
cage. It's not. This is not a team car. Like, I mean, this is a regular guy with a 700 horsepower car.
This is just some regular average dude. He could be anybody with a 700 horsepower car.
This is Jerry the accountant from down the street.
Well, it might be. I mean, look at the dash. I could buy all these parts that I see. I mean, this is not that ridiculous. That front bumper, that was ARP wide body front bumper. I'm not sure what he's got going on in the rear. That's not ARP, but I mean, this is all off the shelf.
but just look at how it handles. It is
his dog
stuck
box
to the road.
His dog box with the paddle shifters that are controlled by air, right off of the factory floor.
Right,
like
right.
you can just.
That's Toyota spec. That's just what it is.
O'Reilly's. That's where you get this shit.
It's.
I'm sorry. You're talking about the center console or the gauge cluster is stock?
No, the dash
No, the
is.
dash
Just
is.
the dash assembly.
That's like a Haltech or whatever. I could buy one of those for $800.
Did you see
they're
like
not
the
that,
hidden?
They're
the
not
little-
ridiculous.
Little center console thing that you can put your maps into and stuff.
Yep.
That's
yep.
a Grand Touring machine. That's what that is.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I would love that
Look,
car.
just
I don't know what's wrong.
I would rather drive a Pontiac Fiero.
That's fighting words.
Hey, would you look up hill
this
climb?
really says more about him.
Nick,
like
can
he's
you-
cutting
can
off
you
his
look up
nose because he
hill
hates his
climb
face. You
Fiero?
know?
Cheers.
Let's see if there's a fast hill climb Fiero out there, shall we?
Really, Coy, what it is that I just have so much contempt for anything that's not a Gen 1 MR2 because it's the slowest one and it's the best looking one.
Some people choose to be dumb, Coy.
Look,
Logan Smith, by the way, has commented on your stash, Chef Kevin.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
He wants a mustache ride.
He wants a mustache ride?
Yeah, he said it in the comments. I would like a mustache ride from Chef Kevin. That
he
is
said the 80s called and they
that's
want their porn
verbatim.
back.
Yeah.
That's verbatim what he said.
I'm
You can private message me. We can discuss pricing.
Fiero. It's Fiero.
do a character,
Right, Coy?
caricature of a caterpillar just
Eh,
giving it to
maybe.
your mustache.
Yeah,
Fiero
Fiero.
hill climb.
Oh boy, wow. You know,
Ends up doing donuts around the first corner.
this
I
is
like
an
the first
amazing
corner.
thing.
You're going to just see nothing but
we're
sky.
assuming that
Yeah.
you can get it started.
Please tell
Those
me
are
that
bold
the first,
assumptions.
the first corner we see nothing but sky for like 3 seconds, you
look at
know,
that.
and then it
That-
just goes off the edge.
Yeesh.
That's just the pinnacle of American engineering right
So
there.
here's what just happened. You type in Hill Climb MR2 or MRS or 3rd Gen MR2 or MR2 Spider. You get all these race cars. You type in Hill Climb Fiero and it's nothing but just dudes that are
That
like.
is a nice looking Fiero.
This dude is driving from Lake Tahoe to Reno. That's
Yeah.
what we have here. I actually think that's where that's at.
You're like, wait a minute, I've been on this stretch of
this-
highway.
You see the up next video, Nick? What is that?
The one in the mud.
Canadian motorsports. Oh my God.
Oh,
I
we've
thought-
transitioned. This is America.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
What is
Look at
that?
that Fiero.
Yes.
That thing is wide bodied.
That looks like a fistful of assholes.
Look at that. Look at that sweet
I've
roof
never seen
scoot,
anything
too.
I really
so
love
ugly
the
in
way
my
he
life.
wide bodied it, but then put stock wheels on it.
stock
Like,
wheels in so it looks ridiculous.
I'm sorry, audio folks, I don't even know how to describe this. Yeah, wow.
It kind of looks like one of those weird concept cars from one of the old Gran Turismo games.
It looks like a first gen MR2, but uglier.
No, the Mazda. There was a crazy Mazda concept.
Stab, twist.
no, you know what that car looked like? You know how when like another
right,
country
that's
is
good.
trying to knock off an American race team or
Yeah.
something, like a known race team, they're
China.
like, yeah, no, it's like Taiwan,
China.
like Taiwanese race team was like, we really love the way that Castrol Celica looks. we're gonna knock it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, well, just do the Castrol paint theme. We'll do the livery.
Corona.
Except for it's just gonna be something else.
We'll call it the COVID-19.
I don't know, man. Fieros, that's a mixed bag for me because, when we talked to who do we talk to, Coy, for
Look,
the horsepower hour?
if somebody says Fiero and then they follow that with North Star V8,
Sure, yeah.
ears perked, but other than that, I'm done.
All right, I got to tell a little story right now about a guy that had a Fiero with a North Star V8 that he had. This is a roommate of mine.
Before you do that, I want to talk about real quick Stephen Cox from Mecum Auto Auctions and NBC Sports. He told me that Fieros are actually going up in value. They're not exactly, I wouldn't call them a collector car yet, but they are a car where if you bought a nice condition one now and kept good care of it in 5 years, it would be worth more than what you paid for it.
Yeah, everybody needs a parts car.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, if you spend,
All right, that was pretty good. Good job.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that's like
on it.
that's like possums being on the endangered species list. It's like, okay, look,
It's a toss-up.
I get that we kill them all because they're freaking horrible little creatures, but I mean, do we
Don't
we
you
want-
Are they
understand?
really going to be valuable? I mean,
Africa is nearly out of mosquitoes. You don't understand.
No,
Okay,
so there's times when you can just let things go extinct.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
go the way
Like
of the
Fieros.
dodo.
The way of the dodo, exactly.
Exactly.
What is this bird good for? Nothing but
It's
just
flightless. It looks
Yeah.
ugly.
I'm
It
just saying,
died for a reason.
in 100
That
years,
is the Fiero.
when some rich Elon Musk type,
Sends ones into space.
some guy that owns the Mars to Earth continental, shuttle
The
route.
shuttle.
He's like, look, I got this ancient Fiero. His dick is not getting sucked over that.
No.
You know what I mean?
yeah, good point.
There needs to be a different, he's
Yeah.
going to pull up something else, a 67 something. Really anything in 1967.
Yeah, anything 60 to late
67
60s.
to 71. Anything in there? Maybe. There's some room for some suckage, but nothing that starts or ends with Fiero.
No.
Fair enough. Now, please, now that we've shit all over Fieros, tell us about your buddy's Fiero story.
It was just an absolute shit can. Like, it sat in his driveway. It had that North Star V8, but it was just the most brutally ugly car. And
I'm trying to let you know to get closer to that mic.
heinous body kit. Did not look like a Fiero. It looked like a, what is it? The TBR?
Did he have the Ferrari?
No. It wasn't. It was somehow
Because there
worse.
is a satire version of Fieros that I like.
Oh, yeah.
The F40s.
Yeah, well, like you do like a bad F40s body kit and a V8, and it's and then you dress like Magnum PI. You let the chest hair
With it
pop and
pop it out
put on
a little
short
bit.
shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
You know what that's called, Coy? That's called Magnum PU.
Ew.
You know
Magnum
what you
sexual.
would like? There's a Lemons team from a few years back that found a Ferrari F40 with a blown motor, bought the car, and swapped a Fiero powertrain into it, and were allowed to run no penalty.
Huh? What?
Yes.
Wow.
Why would you not put
reverse-
Toyota 3.5 liter V6 into it? Did we not just learn anything?
No, reverse.
Clearly
reverse
no.
swap.
It's the
Reverse
stupidest.
swap.
That is no. That's
Look,
not even cool.
that
That's
It was
stupid.
amazing.
That
That's
would be a
dumb as hell.
perfect 3S GTE swap. Like you have a Ferrari and then you throw the turbo Toyota in
Well,
there.
yeah, if you want to make a fast car, sure, but if you want to make a Lemons
fun
car,
car?
if you want to make something that's absolutely
Look,
terrible.
I'm sorry.
You can
no,
leave
you
it
could have
stock so
thrown-
that you don't have to work on it every 3 laps.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there
can
is
actually
a
put
point
laps in.
where I don't have to bring extra oil with me to the track. You know what I mean? There's that.
You literally could have put a K24 in that thing with a medium-sized turbo, made 500 horsepower all day long, which is more than the factory car made, and it would have stayed where it would have had Honda reliability.
You
Absolutely.
actually could have
And-
got in the Honda Tuning magazine.
And you would absolutely be laughed off the track or given a million penalty
worth
laps.
it.
or-
As you're
worth it.
passing
Still worth it.
every single person.
Look, when penalty
enough.
laps is like, hey, you use the big condom.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, give me penalty laps.
That's big dick energy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I have penalty,
Penalty
laps.
laps.
My car's too fast. Oh, yeah.
Shame on
It's
me.
long and girthy. Oh, I'm cursed.
Not only do I fuck the sides up, but I also hit the bottom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Penalty laps. People are like, oh no, I got penalty laps. I would have a sign. I'd have a ring girl like walking around me with
Penalty
the
lap
number of
3.
penalty laps. Ding, ding, ding. She walks across the pit with my penalty lap number.
Outstanding.
So it's been decided if Coy had this as a project, he'd name it the Uterus Punisher.
The Uterus Punisher. Savage
I'm into
beatings.
penalty laps. That's my fetish.
You know what's my fetish, you guys?
Oh, good.
Ridiculous, stupid JDM cars, and we have one for today's Smoking Dealer Smoking a Doob.
Yes.
I was trying to keep it a secret from Chef Kevin because I know he loves his JDM cars. Coy, I have to admit, I have 2 Smoking Dealer Smoking a Doobs because I just don't think there's a whole lot to say about this one, to be totally honest. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and pop that one open.
You have any idea how silly I'm going to seem when I tell my girlfriend that I sold my 240 and bought a Camry?
I know.
And she's going to be like,
She's going to be like, well,
honey,
it's at least like a 2018 or newer, right? And I'm just going to be like, no.
but I can deliver mail in my spare
We got to
time.
run the intro. Producer Nick, you got the intro ready?
Hit it.
Smoking Deal or Smoking a Doobie. Smoking Dealer Smoking a Doobie, and today we have something that really rides the fence, boys. It is a 1993 Toyota Corolla LX.
With 42,000 kilometers. That's like,
Oh my God.
that's like 23,000 miles. It's
brand
basically
new.
brand new.
It's a time capsule. It literally will run for the next 50 years.
In 4-door Toyota miles, like that's a puppy.
That's a puppy.
It's not even broken in
In
yet.
dog ears, it's still chewing your slippers.
Yeah.
All right, it is an automatic transmission. It runs and drives. Has new tires, all new fluids. You can drive it anywhere. Super solid daily driver. It is literally the stockest of stock Corollas.
God,
Excuse me.
And it's a
the
4-door.
It's the most Corolla I have ever seen in my life. Like, if you could describe, vanilla is not a strong enough term.
No.
Like, I am going to petition to remove the term vanilla and start using Corolla for the most basic.
If there
thing
was
that you can
clip art
get.
for Corolla, this
Yeah.
would be it.
Yeah.
If this was a spice, it would be called flour.
Yes. We should start calling flour Corolla.
Right
Yeah.
there.
I have to give credit. That was a Bob's
Yeah, that
Burgers
was
thing.
fantastic.
Now, here's the catch, boys. This is a Japanese import. It is right-hand drive. That is literally the only difference between this car and any other Corolla you could get in the United
So it
States right now.
can't go drive anywhere because it can't go through any drive-through.
Hey,
'cause
you could
can't
go backwards.
I've
Just
done it before. You can
reverse
go
it.
backwards.
Oh,
to
I know
that
you
drive.
can.
Absolutely.
They don't like it.
Yeah, I know.
No, they don't.
They kind of get irritated with you, but that's what they have the grabber
I'm
for.
going
I
to come
guess.
out with a real opinionated, I guess, opinion.
Like you haven't
Are
already?
you being liberal?
This is absolutely a smoking deal. I would pay $5,000 for this car left-hand drive.
Well, what a coincidence.
And
Well, here's the
right-hand
thing.
drive. Why?
Well, no. If this was a USDM Corolla,
Yeah.
Would you?
1993 with I don't know what that transfers 23,000 miles on
miles,
it.
that is absolutely
What would you
worth
pay for that?
I would absolutely pay $5,500 for that car.
You would. To be honest, yeah.
100%.
So, and then you make it right-hand drive so that you can't ever see to pass anybody. Drive-throughs are useless, and all those, but
JDM AF,
Super
bro.
inconvenient.
you know what you could do with this car, though? You could
Throw
make
neon
the
lights
money
on
back by delivering mail on your off days. You know what I
There you
mean?
go. You don't have to. You have to pay for.
You
the
don't have to have that
conversion.
steering wheel
Yeah.
and weird brake thing on the other side. You just drive around.
Yeah, that means I got to work for the government, though. What about just delivering newspapers? It's still
That
easier
works,
for
too.
delivering newspapers.
don't know.
I
Those
think
people
with
are
the
really
price
hard.
of gas these days, that you would lose money actually doing that.
Fair enough.
Do we feel like this thing is a time capsule?
I mean, go back to the pictures of the interior.
Yeah,
and
I want to
stuff.
see the interior.
Now, if I bought this, you know what I would do though?
All seats.
Oh, roll up.
I would buy all the US
Look at the engine bay.
USDM grill and taillights and stuff and convert it back to US.
Convert it back to USD.
I would leave it right-hand drive, but all the Japanese cool different headlights and grills and taillights, I would change back to American spec just so people were weirded out.
Look how clean the engine bay is. There's no rust on the heat shield for the exhaust. That's
It's gorgeous. It's tasty.
You could take
It is-
your 240 money and just go get this.
Yeah.
What a coincidence, because I mean,
Jamie would be so mad,
Bro.
and I don't even fucking care.
Dude,
that thing
bro,
is amazing.
This is a
Imagine-
baby hauler.
Yeah.
This is 5-star safety rated. This is a Toyota Corolla.
and it will last the entire life of every single one of your children.
And imagine.
If
just
you have
imagine.
a child born today, he will be driving it to high school.
Yeah.
So the only issue is we got 6 people we need to seat. But
They've
we
got
could
a
get a
trunk and a
trailer,
roof.
right? Like, or a trailer.
Look,
or
at
something
6
that's got
people.
seat
Here's
belts.
where I would go with this. Are you only planning on having one child? No, you're planning on having a couple. So you're going to need to take 2 cars everywhere anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not like the wife's not going to have.
Where are you going to get an 8-seater Well, except for going with like
you're
an
not gonna buy,
Econoline van.
You're not going to buy a Sprinter
Transit.
van. Unlikely.
We're going Toyota Highlander.
Even so,
Does that have a third row?
Yeah, it does.
7 or 8.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, there is a third row 4runner. I'm just throwing that out there.
Actually,
Yeah, there's a third row Econoline van as well.
you could fit like 12 people in a Transit.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. If you did one of the 1-ton transits,
I
dude,
do love the Transit.
You're welcome.
I'm not gonna lie.
you need to start popping out babies ASAP.
Wait, what's that new Nissan van?
Oh, that super ugly one.
Yeah. I said
Be a
van.
little more specific.
I said van.
Vague as hell.
There is a new Nissan van that's like half Armada, half delivery van that would probably be pretty sweet and perfect for you. And I think they come in 4-wheel drive.
I'm not gonna lie. If I can somehow convince her that it's gonna be reliable because it's a Honda motor, I really do like the idea of that Odyssey swap. Like I'm not gonna lie. Rowing my own gears in a minivan.
Yep.
Sounds like amazing to me.
So where are you
right.
at, guys? Where are we all in agreement? So this is the worst deal. It's a deal, but it is like literally
It's the worst deal
It
ever.
is the most boring deal
It's
in
the
the world.
boringest deal that could possibly come
Like,
across.
we
this is
somehow all want it.
This is the most John deal
This-
there ever was.
It would be like going out of my way to have a obnoxiously boring daily driver.
Yeah.
No,
it's like getting a vasectomy
there was-
after you've already had 12 kids.
There is one reason to have this car. It's, you know, you can lower it. You can do some cool stuff to it. Nothing crazy. Just
Keep it tasteful.
just some wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
But then go to a car meet and when somebody's like, yeah, dude, look here. I got the JDM spec bumper. And you're like, oh, really? You do? You think that's JDM, dude? Check out the Rolla.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Notice the steering wheel on
original.
on the side they use in Japan. Smell the glove box.
Yeah. Stick your head in
Has
this
Japanese
bad boy.
tampons in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay,
See
the
that?
ashtray.
See that?
I'm going to go ahead and pull the ashtray out for you so you don't have to bend down that close. What does that smell like?
Yeah.
Japanese cigarettes.
For sure.
Boom!
JDM.
All right, so begrudgingly a smoking deal. Yes?
Begrudgingly smoking.
I'm not even begrudging this. It would be a decent deal if it was a USDM spec. Throw right hand drive in there.
And it's
Why not?
just because of the mileage.
Yeah.
It's just because of the mileage.
And that it's a Corolla, so we know that it's going to
last
Yeah.
till
Yeah, it's
the
somewhere
end of
between a
time.
cockroach and a Twinkie. And
All right,
survival
so it's a
rate.
smoking deal.
Very nice.
We do have one more, though, because I couldn't go out on that note. Producer Nick, would you pull this one up for me? This is one of my personal favorites, you guys.
Ooh, the pop top.
Yes.
Okay, and you can't look at the price. You can't look at the price yet, please.
Too late. I already looked.
Yeah, it's too late.
I already looked.
This is a 1987 Volkswagen Vanagon Synchro Westfalia. So I believe it's 4-wheel drive. Yes, it is. It is a turbo diesel swapped by Diesel Land in Golden, Colorado. Colorado, they smoke tons of weed there. Obviously, they know they're Vanagons, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Barely broken in, boys, at 25,000 miles. Okay. Upgraded, larger Borg-Warner turbo. It has TDI chip tuning, custom, blah, blah, such and so, engine oil cooler. It has a rebuilt transmission by Arizona Transaxle. It is a beast. It's just a beast. Start going through some of those photos for us, Nick. I mean, look at that pop top. It's gorgeous. Look at this thing. What an immaculate beast.
I'm angry already.
Tell me that you would not be... Tell me you wouldn't buy this strictly so that you could go and pick up a girl from Tinder who says she likes the outdoors. Just so that you could take a very short hike and then fuck in the back of this thing.
As Andy has said before, the all country Tinder tour.
All country Tinder tour.
People always spell it wrong, but it's all country.
Shouldn't be like Napoleon and working his way across the country.
Shouldn't this be like a farmersonly.com situation?
Oh, it's a manual.
Have we seen...
You don't have to be
Oh, it's
lonely.
a manual. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a manual.
Here's
have
my
we
problem.
seen a sink or a stove yet, Nick? Or is it just the sound system, literally? Go back up to the top row there.
Look at cup holders.
The top row.
Top
It's
row.
already beaten my Tercel.
So we have the sound system. We have a slide-out table, it looks like. That's obviously for the sex toys. I see a fridge right there.
Ooh.
What else do we got? Is there a sink top in that? Do they have a photo of it?
The back seats turn into a bed.
All the way down.
Yeah, the
Back seats have turned into a bed.
all
Yeah.
Fans of rocking.
Okay, so first off, this kind of crap makes me super angry.
This is obviously a party bus. It's got no sink, no cooktop, but it does have a fridge.
yeah.
Here's the problem. Somebody wants to get all their fucking money out of something they built. That's
Yeah.
not how this works.
No,
This
you
is not
never-
this is not real estate.
Is that seriously the price?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's $58,000. Okay. Good for you. You put a crap load of money into something. You don't get it back. That's not how this works.
No.
No.
Okay. If you think it works that way, go ahead and build any 4-wheel drive or any street race car, and then go trade it in and see how it works out for you.
The real world, nobody's original.
They will give you less than a stock one price.
I was gonna say, by that logic, my old Buick Regal is worth like $30,000.
Yeah.
So have you mentioned how much they're asking for this koi?
$58,000.
$1,000.
$58,000.
So obviously,
for a 4-cylinder.
yeah, they are smoking a lot of weed in Colorado.
I don't think
they
they're
are high
smoking
as
weed.
fuck.
I
High
think they're
as
hitting
fuck.
the crack pipe. That is straight up.
Look, this is used. You could buy a used Sprinter van and build it out and have something 10,000 times better than this. I mean, honestly.
They're treating it like it's like one of the Volkswagen 10 windows or whatever, the old
Safari window, yeah.
Yeah, the really old ones where they're
So-
stupidly
the
expensive.
Let's
front.
break this down real quick. For $58,000, we're talking about a newly built tiny home, okay? A park model, basically RV. You're talking about a monster of a fifth wheel that you could easily live in and probably park all your side-by-sides in and
I'm
shit like
pretty
that.
sure I can get a 2020 base model Corvette for this price.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other things could you live in, though, for $58,000? I mean, there are certain
A
areas
hotel for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a 12-bedroom mansion in Kansas.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That's half the down payment in something in Texas.
Right.
The diviest dive in the worst neighborhood in Oregon.
Look, I watched a movie where they bought a zoo for less than that. That was the name. That was the name of the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
No. Smoking a doob.
So it has in the title Overland. Does that change anything for you, Hoy?
No. I mean, I understand he's trying to overland tax this. He's got a high lift on the front in case he needs to jack it up and kill himself.
And it's red.
He's got rear swing outs on the back, so the tire swings out. That's super
Wow.
cool.
Oh, and he's
Yeah.
got the ladder on the side.
Yeah, so that you can climb up to the side of the tent, I guess. I'm not sure where you're going.
Peek in.
but
Bro, it doesn't even have a toilet facing out. Like
doesn't-
that one van did.
he has an awning on the side so that he can have shade.
Yeah.
While he's fixing it on the side of the road.
Yeah,
You can't
Perfect,
sit
perfect.
inside it with the AC going. It
Look,
doesn't.
I appreciate the TDI swap. I'll give him that. But like you
That's it.
said, they smoke a lot of weed in Colorado. So maybe somebody who's smoked more weed and has way too much money will stumble upon the guy that smoked the second most of weed.
Amazing.
Oh my God, bro. This van's just like a van, but vanier.
All right. So now that we have mercilessly mocked this person for their price, where would you land them and go around the table? Let's start with you, not intern Jake.
I don't even know. I mean, there is a lot of work that is dumped into this thing.
And there is a following. I know that they're not $5,000 vans. Not
Here's
anymore.
my question, because I don't know these well enough. What would just a run-of-the-mill gasoline-powered, van like this
The
go
Synchro
for?
van. I think it'd be like 18 to 20.
With
Would they go for that
25,000
much?
miles.
Well, that has 25,000 miles on the new motor.
Right.
Yeah.
This could have 400,000 on the chassis.
Yeah.
He doesn't mention that, so it's not a good number for sure.
And that's the thing I love about diesels, by the way, is they're always like, oh, bro, this motor's barely broken in.
Oh, God,
It's
that
got
makes me so
270,000 miles on it. All your pinion bearings are shot. All your axles are shot. It needs new brakes, new bearings.
Look, it's all good if it runs well when the door handle comes off in my hand. You know what I mean? Like we're driving down the road.
Mechanically, it's
If it's coming down the road like a decommissioned satellite dropping out of orbit with parts coming off of it. So what if the solar panels are brand
the
new?
motor's barely broken in, man.
The retro thrusters are perfectly good. They're barely broken in. Yeah, no, it's
I don't think this is going to fall apart around you. I mean, it looks pretty well kept.
Yeah.
He does not say. Actually, go ahead and scroll through the description. Maybe he has it in here. I don't think so, though. I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, he's got big brakes
Full
on it.
air.
Never mind. Change my
Air
mind.
ride, air suspension.
He's
Yeah.
got custom finished Mercedes
is that
wheel.
so we can lay frame when we park it?
Yeah, exactly. I don't see anything about the
This thing
mileage
parks
on
hard.
chassis.
This thing doesn't. The van's not rocking if it's sitting on the
Keep
frame.
going down.
5 custom finished 16
Yeah, no.
by 7 Mercedes-Benz CLK forged.
Hang on, I turned around. It has a Yakima roof rack. Okay, never mind. It's worth. It's worth. I'll give him 60.
60
worth every
right
penny.
now.
Andy has a CB.
Now, it's got
Breaker,
Vanagon
breaker.
Life air vents, by the way.
Solar charging house battery. List goes on. Please call. Text
No.
the number
No.
if you need more
Oh,
detailed
hey,
photos.
So
No.
we do have. Does it say propane tank though? So maybe there is a cooktop somewhere in there,
Or
is
it
that
just has a
for
heater.
heating?
Yeah, it could be cooktop or heater. Yeah.
It's yeah.
Or it could
it's
just
one
be
of them
or it
Coleman
could just be a
stoves.
propane tank.
Yeah, he could just have
Yeah.
one hook to the back, and he pulls his scuttle out and hooks it up to it.
Pulls out a Coleman and throws it on the table.
Look,
I don't know. For all of this work that's been done to it, I think I don't normally lead the charge on this one, but I think if you got the right collector, you'd probably be getting 28,000.
I was gonna say somewhere 25 to
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
there's a hippie somewhere that just saved up and quit their job, and him and his girlfriend are going to buy something, and they were going to buy a Sprinter van, and then they saw this, and
Right.
and he loves these.
Had
and
the,
he's,
budget, had the budget for the Sprinter van already,
Yeah.
and then
They're like, we don't have to build the Sprinter van. This one's already
yeah,
done.
he's going to make a really bad decision.
Volkswagen.
Yeah,
It's diesel, but it saves the earth.
We can convert it to biodiesel.
Yeah.
It can run off used vegetable oil, man.
It actually cleans the air as it drives.
it's whoever voiced the Volkswagen van from the movie Cars. It's all organic fuel, bro.
All right, so Nick just looked up, what is this? It's autotrader.com. So it does fall under classics, okay? Now scroll up to the top for us, boss. Let's see here. 1987, Volkswagen Vanagon, 1905, 89 Volkswagen
That one is
Vanagon.
a pickup version, so I'm not going to count it.
Yeah.
That one's $7,500. It has 150,000.
Here's an 84 that's 16,000. Here's an 83 camper that's 21,000. You have to make sure you put Synchro in there,
I'm
though.
sorry,
Did you put
did that-
Synchro in there?
Did that say 600 miles?
Vanagon Synchro Westphalia. Go ahead and put it at the search. There you go. Synchro. Because that means four-wheel drive. That changes things. All right, let's see here.
Because everybody knows if you have a four-wheel-drive van, you're out wheeling.
What?
Look at
1990.
That one's
Volkswagen
sold.
Vanagon Westphalia Synchro four-wheel drive. $47,500 sold.
Wow. Maybe we are off our mark.
Okay, back out of this.
God, I thought
In
I
the
smoked
unit-
a lot of pot.
Yeah. In Oklahoma.
No, I want to see prices. Keep scrolling through that. I want to see prices.
I'm
Don't
guessing
jump
a
into
Saudi
it.
prince bought it.
You're scrolling too fast, dude. You're scrolling too fast. Go back up to the top. Nick is like on it. I think we shouldn't have made fun of him for the clutch. We weren't making fun of you, by the way. You got your money's worth out of it.
Yeah. It's
23
solid.
and a half.
Yeah.
235,000 miles on that one. I don't even see a price. Rust free.
20,000 on that one. 19,000 on this one. Okay, scroll down. 22, 3, 41 and a half.
Well, hell, that
What?
one's only worth
What
6.
is going on?
37, 9. Okay, wow. We might be totally off
I'm
base.
seeing like an average
There's
price
one
of
for
about
49.
20 with some for $50,000. So that one has a Subaru 2.2 for 27.
This one's what? Synchro for sale.
It doesn't even have a description.
Please no lowball offers. Thank you.
Don't lowball
Thanks.
me. It's 49,000.
Santa Cruz.
Don't lowball
Oh,
me.
Santa Cruz is full of dirty, stinky hippies that would with Silicon Valley.
Here we
money.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
TDI
They're all
swap
about that.
turbo diesel. Wait, that is not. That's a DACA.
I found a
Synchro.
flash drive with like 10,000 Bitcoin in my pocket.
1990.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. 1990 Westphalia Subaru 2.5 liter rebuilt in January 2018, $57,000.
What?
If I entered into an alternate dimension, I don't understand what's happening right now.
These guys can put this price all day long. I have a hard time believing people are paying that.
The first one said sold.
That didn't mean it sold for that number. He sold it.
Half the price.
Okay.
And it could have been, like you said, a Saudi Arabian prince. He wanted a sleeper van.
Right.
For
I want
the
a real
Cannonball Run.
Volkswagen van from Santa Cruz. I want it to have that like really lived in, stinky, old
Stinky,
stale
grungy.
pot.
You say that
patchouli,
jokingly, but
like-
just insert JDM in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
good
I want
point.
one from Tokyo.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know that.
now I got to sing the song.
I will say, Americans love the Japanese. Now,
Now.
previously not as much.
Yeah. There were some issues back about something about a harbor.
Post-nuking, they seem to really love the Japanese post-nuclear. The Saudis still pretty rough on Americans. I don't know that they love America.
Allah Akbar.
They love being able to cornhole America.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I still think this is a serious doob. Okay, listen, if it's not
Look,
a doob
$8,000 for me personally.
$8,000.
I'm gonna say this goes for 35.
like
35.
actual price.
That,
sold.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if he actually needs the money and this is gonna get sold, 35.
I don't think he'd come down from 45. Honestly.
I might have my mind changed. I might say 40 on this thing. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I can't believe I said it. Either.
It sounds stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But looking at all the other ones that were original, and that one had 200 plus.
Westphalia.
Yeah.
Biodiesel. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Suck it. That blows my mind. That really took me by surprise.
Okay, so smoking a deal or smoking a doob, I have no idea at this point. I'm going to call
We're
it
in a whole
smoking a
nother
doob
dimension.
because even if it was a smoking deal, somebody's smoking a doob. We already know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I say smoking.
Look, we saw a lot of expensive ones. None of them were still $58,000.
Yeah.
So it's a doob.
Yeah, it's an absolute doob. There is somebody in that picture right now smoking a doob inside of that van.
I guarantee
Probably
it.
in the tent.
And I'm pretty sure they were smoking while they took the
I
picture.
guarantee you, if I went in that van, I would get high.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
smoke anything.
Sheerly
I'd just be like,
contact.
Just residual.
yeah,
You would
just-
touch things and just
I would sleep
residual
and just
THC.
out of the vinyl, I would get enough THC.
All right, Nick, go ahead and lead us out.
Smoking deal or smoking a doobie.
Smoking a doob, obviously, which, by the way, I have a story about you guys. Real short story. We were trying to get a Miata for Corian's a couple of years ago. Coy, you're going to remember this completely. We were in Portland visiting some friends. I had a couple of Miatas I wanted to look at because we were serious about getting her a Miata. She wanted one real bad. This was a first gen. It was an NA8. I think it was in 1994, right? We're sitting there in the parking lot waiting. I think it's outside of a Jack in the Box, which makes sense here in a second. So we're sitting there waiting for this dude to show up. He rolls up and literally opens the door to this Miata, and smoke comes pouring out, Cheech and Chong style. I go walking over, and I can smell. It sounds. It smells like. I don't even know how to describe it. Like the most potty pot you have ever smelled in your life.
Smells
this-
like a skunk's butthole.
yeah, like the dankest skunk weed I've ever seen. And I don't even get in the car. The dude jumps out. I'm like, hey, man, is this it? And he's like, yeah, this is it, bro. And I lean down, and I'm like, it's rank in here. I can't do that. And I turned around, and I was like, were you fucking hotboxing in this car right before you brought it to me to sell? And he was indignant about it. The dude was like, well, what the fuck is your problem? Why should it be a problem?
I got
Glaucoma. I just looked at him and I said, listen, bro, next person that looks at your car, don't fucking hotbox in it right before you bring it here.
Don't show up to sell the car with the car like actively hotbox.
Yeah, looking like a
Guess
Willy
what he
Coon.
said to me after I said that? He said, thanks for wasting my time.
Then you hand him the reverse card from Uno.
Are you mentally handicapped?
I feel like the thanks for wasting my time is like the girlfriend equivalent of must be your other girlfriend, or I never do anything right, you know.
Yeah.
Go
Just
talk
the,
to your other
"Wow,
bitches. Yeah.
I never do anything right. Yeah, you must have been your other girlfriend. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like somebody's going to encounter that with this. They're going to come to look at that van. It's going to be foggy inside, and they're just going to go, oh,
Gonna go,
okay.
Got it.
Look at the residue on the window and
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Rub it on your gums. I'm going to be high for 12 hours.
We're running late here, but I have one more thing to bring up. This is kind of
who cares?
breaking news.
Nobody's watching anyways.
Yeah, no.
Everybody.
Why do you think I'm on here?
Everybody's kind of excited about the new Ford Bronco.
The Bronco, yeah, you were going to say something about that.
And me and Andy have been talking about, are they going to call it the Bronco Raptor or the Broncador or the Rap Bronco?
I thought it would be the Rapeco.
What about
Rapeco.
the Bronchosaurus?
You know, we think there's a leak out from like an informed source that's had other verified leaks that it will be the Bronco Warthog edition. Not the best name.
No.
Every
not
time
the worst name.
It's like from Halo, though.
Exactly. That's the first thing I think of. I think of Halo.
I shouldn't have said no. Why did I say no? I've been watching too many other of these shitbag podcasters where every time their co-host says something, they're like, no,
we got to argue. No,
I agree.
maybe they should call it the Puma.
Warthog, not the best name. Now, having said that, just the fact that they're trying to name it after the Halo vehicle.
That savage
Well, are they going for the Halo vehicle
Or the airplane?
or are they going for the vet buy, you know?
Yeah.
Where everyone's going to, they'll come out with like a Burt edition.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Burt.
The vet buyer, the new enlistee, just got my bonus check.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They come in with a fresh tattoo and
you
a
don't
Bronco.
have to have a Camaro anymore. Now you can have this.
What did it come with? You were
Also unverified, but it sounds it's going to be a 7-speed manual transmission.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
That's been that word's been out for a while. I think the first is going to be a granny low, but that's
would
still
that would
kind of
make sense.
unverified. So basically, it's a 6-speed
like
with a granny.
G1, a 1, 2.
Yeah, it'll be a
3, 4,
6-speed with a granny.
Hold on. What's the last vehicle we can think of that came with a granny low?
Dude, like a Ford Ranger F100 or something.
Yeah, giant diesel,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always the dog leg gear, too. It's
Yeah.
like way over.
A
like
Dodge
down.
Duramax, or excuse me, not a Duramax, a Cummins from like 2003.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to have front and rear lockers, about 400 horsepower. This is all unverified, but it is kind of from a kind of a legit source. And word on the street is it's going to come factory with 37s.
37 factory.
37-inch tires from the factory, front and rear lockers.
How many times has this source been right in the past?
Multiple.
Oh.
Like, no, it's unverified, but this source is kind of a proven source.
Yeah.
Really?
Now, not 37s on any Bronco, on the Bronco Warthog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has there been any suggestion of what price?
More than you can afford. I'm
But
sure.
less than that synchro bus.
Warthog.
Still less than the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, still less than
Here's
that.
the real question, though. Are you going to be able to take off its top?
Yes. Yes.
It's going to be like Bronco 2 style?
Yeah,
like you
that's
can
been
pull-
verified that you can take the top
All right,
off.
I'm
Oh,
sold.
that's awesome.
Okay, so speaking of the Bronco 2, the mini Bronco, whatever the fuck they're calling it, the Jeep Liberty that they've converted into a Ford Bronco front-wheel drive. Can I just talk about that for a second?
What?
Let's
So
just
there's
go
a
off on a
Bronco.
tangent.
They're making a Bronco and a baby Bronco, as they've dubbed it. The Bronco is legit. The baby Bronco is the
garbage.
Jeep Compass, Jeep Rebel. Renegade? Yeah, Jeep Renegade.
Renegade.
The Renegade.
When you look up
Optional four-wheel
Just
drive.
think
but
like
only
like
front.
Range Rover
What is
crappy
it?
Discovery 2 or not Discovery, the crappy Ford Range Rover thing.
Is it
one of those.
Jeep Rebel?
Renegade.
Renegade.
Jeep Renegade. Look up one of those.
It's a front wheel drive,
Yeah,
all wheel
yeah,
drive,
it's
subframe.
It's a city Jeep.
It's like
the
it's like if the
California-
people that
image.
designed the Nissan Cube made a car for Jeep.
Okay.
Good God.
Well, look up. Just look.
Look at that. That is Sahara edition, baby. You just see that trudging through the sand in the Sahara?
Now, I
I'm
will
sure
admit,
that
That buries itself into
I will
into a
admit,
dune.
I'm sure
if
that
we
won
can
the Dakar.
K-swap it,
Yeah, we have to K-swap it.
Okay, swap everything.
all you got to do is get a transmission from a Hyundai Sonata, and then we can mount a Toyota 3.5-liter V6 in it.
And you know what? Screw it. We'll throw on the TRD supercharger just for kicks.
But listen. Here's my thought, okay? If Ford is going to do a baby Bronco in this same style, here's what I think they should do. Can I break it down for you real quick? I think they should do the 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6 in a front-wheel drive transmission configuration. I think it should be all-wheel drive. I think it should be dumped on its fucking nuts on 20s with some fat, sticky meats, and I think it should run 12s.
That should,
So they'll
Yeah,
never,
that
they'll never
would
do
be-
that though because it'll be faster than the Bronco.
But it's in a totally
But
different
would it be
field.
faster than the Warthog? Yeah, it would be
even
faster.
so,
Yes, it would be faster
Oh,
than
yeah,
the
it
Warthog.
would be faster than
This
the
is,
Warthog.
this is
Did
just
you-
like Porsche
But you
down tuning their old 944s
Yeah.
back in the
Why
day
can't we
because it
just-
was like faster than the 911.
Why don't
Yes,
we just
it
make
was.
that the new
Yes,
truck?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Setup where they have like, we need to redo the Lightning, like you've been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is a SRT8 Cherokee is what they need to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's faster than the Raptor
What about a Ranger?
or the new Warthog.
Like a little mini truck.
Well, it's first of all, that is not a mini truck. The Ranger is literally, it is 11/12
It's
of
like
a full size truck.
It
the
is
stupidest
ton
shit.
hair
a mini
away.
truck.
It is
It is
the
so
Ranger
close.
is
It's so
F-150 that just has like half its pubes.
Yeah, it's a
Nicholas, will you-
circumcised. It's a circumcised F-150.
Nicholas, will you look
And
up
it's not even
baby
Jewish.
new baby Bronco?
He's pulling it up. Okay,
Oh,
Oh, it's straight
Bro.
hideous, dude.
Oh,
are you
my
kidding me
God.
right now? Do you see why
That
we're
is
using?
terrible.
Do you see why we're using that Jeep as a comparison?
Yeah.
Pop through a couple of these because I think I don't know
let's-
how many of these are verified.
Hey, do we have to?
I will.
It's so ugly.
Well, I will admit, I think that the baby Bronco is basically just a
That's
a
not
Land,
so bad.
isn't it? Just a Land Rover with a different body style.
That is not what it looks like.
I'm
Go
pretty
back.
sure it's not because that looks decent.
Look, scroll down. Hold that there. It is.
That blue one?
Click on the orange one, top left. Yes.
Yeah,
That is it.
and they're calling it the Adventurer.
See, that's like
It's a Land Rover. That's a Land Rover
it looks
Discovery.
like a Discovery.
Yeah.
that's like that the Mercedes bi-turbo or the SUV, the boxy one that
Yeah, yeah.
I really like.
The ML or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's got like 600.
They make a
horse or whatever.
6-wheel version of it.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
It's just made for urban. I mean, that's all it is. It's to look like you go overlanding, but you live in the burbs.
Well, and to be fair, a Land Rover Discovery is not bad off road.
No,
People who drive them off road. It's not going to be the best, but it's certainly not the worst. It's just if it's not this, if it ends up being a front wheel drive version, like if they have a, is it latitudinally mounted engine? Is that front wheel drive?
Transverse.
Transverse.
Front wheel drive, longitudinal rear wheel drive.
Exactly. So if it's a transverse mounted motor, then that means that the base model is going to be front wheel drive only.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, dude, but like, you can't you can't dress that into an off-road vehicle. You just can't.
No.
You can.
What, a Rubicon badge or like trail? You just say it's trail rated?
Can't. Okay, but
you
why
stick a
couldn't you?
4x4
Dude, you get a
on
sticker
it?
that says trail rated and it's
Yeah.
legit. I've seen Jeep do this on almost every model they make.
If I was any kind of a higher up
better
in
yet,
Ford at
Trail
all,
Hawk.
I was gonna say, obviously, if it's a trail hawk, hawks are super aggressive animals, and if
Yeah.
it's a trail one,
They're an alpha predator.
Wow,
Yeah.
alpha vehicle,
Yeah.
alpha predator. It's like right where raptors, like the dinosaur raptor,
Raptor.
when the Velociraptor started becoming a bird. It was
Yeah.
just like shortly, like it was still
Yeah.
mostly dinosaur, but lots of feathers. That's what a trail hawk was.
Oh,
this was a hawk that ran on trails.
Maybe this could
It's a
be
thing.
the
Google it.
Ford Adventurer
Swear to God.
Velociraptor.
If they take the Ford E350 van and do a Raptor version of it, it has to be the Raptor.
Yeah.
Raptor.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, I
said
agree.
this so many times.
I agree.
I smell a build for me.
And you will be buying one. You'll be like,
Yes.
wait a second.
Absolutely.
All right, kids, get in the Raptor.
Okay, let me try to explain it like this. So check this out. The front-wheel drive Civic hatchback, the new Civic SI or Type R or whatever, it set crazy fast laps on the Nürburgring.
Sure.
So we get the Ford Adventurer. If it's a transverse mounted engine style, okay, you get it on the Nürburgring, and then you just tune it over and over and over. Instead of being the Trailhawk, it is the fucking Trackhawk.
There you go.
And you
there
have
a
this
Trackhawk something already, like a Dodge.
probably.
What is it? The Nitro or no? It's the Jeep. The
can you look up-
Yeah, it's the SRT8.
Oh, is that the Trackhawk?
Can you look
Well,
up
that
the
makes sense.
SRT
It's a
Trackhawk?
Cherokee Trackhawk. It's the SRT8.
Well,
Whatever.
fuck a
Crazy.
Cherokee. That's stupid.
Yeah.
God damn.
No, you have to use a baby Bronco for that, okay? All I'm saying is Ford could easily make that thing run a 13 and a half second quarter mile.
Whoa.
Huh.
Ford Bronco Kentucky Derby Edition.
What?
Call it the
The sea biscuit.
The Seaman biscuit.
The semen biscuit.
I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Kentucky Derby edition.
Is that
just
the Track
slam
Hawk?
it. Yeah.
Cherokee? Yeah.
Slam it and then just sit at
producer
Nürburgring
Nick,
for the next
you
year.
know
It's a
What
sports
does that
edition
have?
For
because
that
the
specific-
calipers are yellow, right?
Yeah.
The yellow calipers make it faster. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead and look
what
up
they
what
say,
that has
Brembo.
in it, boss.
Wouldn't they make it slower technically?
They would make it slower, faster.
Slower, faster.
There
Look,
you go.
you can
Kevin,
say that.
I need you to do me
You also
big
don't
fat
like
favor
MR2s,
and
Mike.
shut the fuck up.
Well, no, here's the thing, though. Everybody's like, yeah, the big brakes make it faster or make it slower. Almost every sports car of note with giant brakes has cross-drilled rotors, which actually don't make it stop faster. They degrade performance, but people just like the way they look.
Don't they make it stop
That's
for
like a cheese
longer
grater.
though?
No, because brake technology's improved to where we don't need holes for them to off-gas through, but people are in love with drilled rotors.
The way it looks.
And
It looks, look, I agree. It looks sweet,
Yeah.
but it actually is a massive performance detriment.
So they're not
Yeah,
doing
they
that in
cause
like
cracks,
JGTC or European Touring Car or anything.
they're
no
doing
more?
slotted now.
Yeah, it's
Slotted.
just slotted.
Yeah, slots the way
There
it
is some.
because it swipes the brake pad instead of like
And it creates an
giving
even
it.
Yeah, you
Right.
won't
Yeah.
see Indy cars with drilled rotors. They'll be slotted.
All slotted.
Yeah, go around.
Go back up to the top,
Boom!
Nick.
Shatter apart.
So hey, the Jeep Trackhawk, 707 horsepower, Hellcat V8, of course, obviously. Can tow 7,200 pounds. I don't buy that for a hot fucking second. Who's going to be towing a 32-foot long trailer?
Kyle.
My,
That's sponsored by fucking Monster.
Well, think about
That
this
has
though.
the Sea-Doo boat
You have
that's
this.
going down
Are we
to-
talking about Kyle Pollard?
No.
Look, you could be towing like
Ouch.
a.
nobody's watching this right now, so I feel safe
Yeah,
in
no.
saying this. That Kyle Pollard episode of Clutch Geek Radio did not do well. I had a couple of people at Pat's Acres that were like, "Yo, was that just like an off day for that dude?"
I will say,
And I said, "Every day's an off day."
You don't know my mind.
look, when you have one of these Trackhawks and you're, towing your cigarette boat down to the Miami docks so you can make a drug run,
Sure,
you
yeah.
need 7,200
Shit tons
pounds.
of coke.
Yeah. You're like,
All that ecstasy.
there's a 7,500 pound boat. Pick it up, back it up.
How much horsepower did you say
Throw
this
the
thing
tarp
was?
over it so they can't see us.
700. Maybe it's got the towing capacity to like haul a trailer full of fuel so you can get to the grocery store.
Well,
Well, there is that. Yeah.
most of towing capacity on vehicles is actually stopping power, and since the brakes on these are literally the size of beach balls,
There it
they're
is.
like, there you go.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm having producer Nick look up a video of the Trackhawk going down the track. Actually, this one's going to be racing a McLaren.
is that a
McLaren
P1 or a
MP1?
something? Oh, it's not the P1.
You know, if there was ever like
Hold on, Northwest Nationals. Is this at Woodburn?
That's a Woodburn.
Whoa, I did not even realize that was going to happen. That's totally unintentional.
I've done
it's-
stupid,
All right,
stupid
go ahead and hit
things.
that thing.
I've done dumb things right here.
He even gave him a length.
Wow, that thing is actually gaining on the McLaren. I can't hardly
That
believe it.
McLaren,
I think
He reeled him in at the end.
Yeah.
He just got him.
But still, for a second there, the guy in the McLaren looked over and saw the Jeep coming up. Like, wait, what?
The guy in the Jeep also had a real shitty launch. Let's
Yeah,
talk
he did.
about that.
Yeah.
He got off way slow.
12-2, 11-9.
11-9.
Oh, man. He ran a
Jeez.
faster. Okay, so hold on. Check this out. The McLaren ran a 12.22 at 132 miles an hour. So horrible launch. He should be running like 112 miles an hour at a 12-second quarter mile. The Jeep Trackhawk ran an 11.96 at 115 miles an hour.
Now, did this come out specifically because that Tesla Type S or whatever the SUV set the benchmark?
Type X.
Type X.
Oh, no,
was
no,
the fastest.
The Trackhawk's been around for a minute.
Has it?
It's been around a while.
Because the last I heard, the Type X
It
SUV
didn't originally have 700. It was like 490.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But I feel like that it was the Type X actually held the record for being the factory.
Let's see that
SUV,
Hennessy
and it did
Jeep.
like 11 something in the quarter,
Yeah.
being a factory.
if there was ever like an Olympics of drag racing, I feel like America should show up with a Trackhawk. You know what I mean? Just
An SUV.
a Jeep that's just retarded horsepower. Like there'll be a McLaren there, and Russia will have some soapbox. Italians will bring something sweet.
It's like that's the
British
supercar
will bring
on
like
Netflix.
everybody will bring the most.
China will bring a knockoff of an Italian car, which was a knockoff of a French car.
Yeah.
something like
With
that.
a 0-star crash rating. Like,
and it's got a plus
Negative
and stuff
3
in the
stars,
name.
like-
no, like
It's
if you
a Fiat 126. That's what they made in the Soviet Union. That's all. What's the Soviet? Crap.
Dacia?
No.
The Sandero.
No, dude.
the one that looks like it should have a wood stove chimney coming out of it. That one.
Yeah.
No,
You
there
can
was
hit
a
it with a
Soviet-
hammer and it never dents.
There's like a really it's the car that you think of when you think Soviet cars. Why am I drawing a blank?
You go. That's mine.
Yeah, that's mine. That's
Listen, never mind. Here's the point. The point is a lot of those Soviet rear-wheel drive 4-door cars, they're actually based on a Fiat 126.
Really?
They purchased the licensing for that.
and they just grew from there off that
Well, yeah.
chassis.
So you can
You're
actually
talking about Lada, right?
Lada, yeah, we're talking about the Lada,
okay.
yeah.
I had to look. I cheated on my
you
phone.
can
but
actually
that's the
tell
one, yeah.
what year Lada it is because the body panels just continue to get more deformed and the gaps continue to
gaps
get
don't
larger
line
and
up.
larger.
Can you just imagine being a fly on the wall when the Russians were trying to buy the licensing for the 123?
Oh Lord!
You
want to do a little role playing?
You think that the lowest price you can do?
Fiat, thank you, Fiat, for joining today. We would like to build car. We want car that is reliable. We want it to be good. We want it to be good car. We like Fiat quite much. What can you give?
Oh, you want to buy a reliable Fiat?
No.
I'm not doing that.
No. What we're saying is we want most reliable Fiat. What can you, Fiat? What can you do for the glory of Mother Russia?
Oh, look, I'd love to help Mother Russia. I'm not doing an Italian accent because this is like an American movie, I'd love to help you guys out here.
Buongiorno.
Grazie. Yeah.
I would love to get you a good car presto.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm gonna.
Yes.
I'm gonna need to know some numbers. What are we working with here?
It's
cash-wise?
good. No, it's good. It's good. It's
need a budget.
we have money. We have ruble. We have ruble. It is good. It is good now. Might not be good later. So what can you do? Let's pretend we have good ruble now. Bad ruble later. What can you do for me now, which is good ruble? But maybe I can be good with bad ruble later.
You take trade potato.
You trade
turnips.
Thermonuclear weapons.
Potato. I can work potato into alcohol. Tell me what you give.
Let's see. I'm gonna give you our number 1, 2, 3 car.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of our best sellers.
I am good. It's
our
like Porsche.
number
Reliable,
one. It's
yes.
the Fiat number 1 car or number 1, 2, 3 car.
It's like
it's the number
off-road,
1,
it's
2,
best
and
car,
3.
Yes, it's like Land Rover meets Hellcat. Yes.
Yes. I mean, let's.
You give.
You
Needs to stand Russian winter and come back.
It has to start in Russian winter.
Are you familiar with the Americans' Lincoln? They're
yes.
big, heavy cars.
Yes, I know Lincoln,
And then
yes.
Chrysler makes a K series.
I like Chrysler.
Yeah, it's like we combined the reliability of K series with the size and weight of the Lincoln. So it's really best of both worlds.
Is make my penis hard. Yes. What you give?
Look, we're gonna let you. We'll license this car to you.
Yes.
And I mean, we took the best of America with the genius of the Italians.
Listen.
Okay, I want you to think about that,
Mr.
and I'm
Fiat
going to
Man.
let you have it for $7 million.
Mr. Fiat Man, I need you to understand. We will pay you for this car for the first year, and then we will not need you after first year. We will just continue to produce.
Well, that's why we're going to license it to you. So you'll keep paying us for every car you make. We're going to get a little bit of money.
No.
And then I'm going to need $7 million up front.
No, it is for glory of Soviet Union. We will pay you. We'll pay you $7 million for first car, and then we will just produce car.
Plus 10 potato per car after that.
Here's what I can do for you.
We use a lot of potato in our currency.
Look, I don't know why your entourage is just their briefcases are all opening them, and there's no papers in them. I don't know what's in those
lots of
briefcases.
Do you know?
Sorry, what?
We make this happen now, yes?
FN 5.7 is good. Would you like to see work?
No. I'm just interested in working a deal here on these cars.
Hollow Point. Are you sure?
No. I'm good. I'm familiar.
What if in like 40 years we rig election for you?
Look, I've been trying to sell some cars to the Middle East. I've been trying to sell some cars to the Middle East.
Yes.
And they've been keep hammering me.
Okay.
They want some kind of weapon system.
Enough.
If there's something we could work here.
I do not care. You are wasting time.
Oh, sorry.
Give to me your best car.
Look, we're going to do the Fiat, our number 1, 2, 3 car.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to sell you that car, but obviously with your budget restrictions, I'm not going to be able to put a motor in that car. So I don't know if your government has a motor that they would like to put in that. Something that's. I would love to use our motor. No, it's a great car.
It's a great car.
Is this car?
Yeah.
This one in front.
Yeah, no. See, look how it's shaped like an apartment building. That's for aerodynamics.
Nothing's more aerodynamic than a building.
Who built this car?
Well, I mean, not me personally, but Fiat built this car.
But it's not quite
Russian enough.
Is maybe I was thinking something a little bit more higher, with a little bit more how you say horsepower.
Oh well, here's what I'm thinking. Your guys' fuel, it's not really as good as. Or sorry, it's not really what we're used to here.
Best.
You have the best octane for sure.
We have 76 horsepower or octane. We have 76 octane. It's best.
Our motor is not ready to run on high grade Mother Russian potato fuel.
Yes.
Potato fuel.
So I'm thinking we'll sell you this car and then you guys source your own motors to put in it.
Yes. We will take
a superior motor than ours, obviously.
Yes. We'll make motor. I am envisioning we need more airflow around the engine components if we just widen these body gaps.
Well, that's
that's all
your
in
guys'
in your design scheme.
Here's how I'm gonna really sell this car to you because this is a tough car.
Please.
Your guys with the FN 5.7s, go ahead, light it up. Light it up, bro.
I went through like paper.
I know. So now, see, look at all that air.
Not even the engine block stop. It just straight through.
Why no?
Why is go through?
But think about the epic dash cam footage.
Oh, it still starts.
There.
It still starts and run. We have deal, Mr. Italian man.
Yeah.
You
please
pay
don't
in
kill me.
spaghetti and I pay in vodka.
Ensign.
Done.
Yes.
Composed. Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
I hope you get assassinated. There's definitely going to be a broken arrow
Let me tell
situation
you
at your
about
house.
this. Would be people's car.
I see you think we do not have thermonuclear weapon, Mr. Remhoff.
I think someone's going to be Putin it in my ass.
Okay. On that note, guys.
Go ahead, take it out.
Yeah.
This is all you.
Oh,
I'm never doing it.
what an asshole!
You son of a
You're
bitch.
the one to wrap it. Come on.
Eat 'em.
Are you ready?
Bag of
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guys, thanks for being here. Andy, our wonderful host. Me.
Thank you, my
second
friend.
chair. Jake, you were here anyways.
I'm here.
Not intern
Kevin,
Jake.
Thanks
who
for showing up.
really doesn't like the finer things in life.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Clearly.
And on that note, guys,
no taste.
Producer
We're
Nick,
out.
thank you, my friend. So for producer Nick, Chef Kevin, not intern Jake, and Coyson Masterson, this is Andy. We will see you next time.